what I could have done differently. Whatever, but there's always do a small exercise before going to sleep. It started in my cricketing days. At the end of a day's play, before going to sleep, I always used to analyze how I could have done something differently. So I was about to go to sleep. I was picturing this, whatever had happened, a lot of infighting in the party, and I was thinking about it. And suddenly, I saw this rejoicing in the streets of Pakistan. Right from Khyber, right down to Karachi, streets full of people dancing, rejoicing, because Tehreek Insaf had won the election. For the young people, please remember this thing, that you cap your own potential by saying it is impossible. Nothing is impossible. There are only two principles for success. Number one, you only lose when you give up. If you do not give up, failure cannot defeat you. And secondly, you must have the ability that whenever you aim high, you're going to have a lot of moments when you're going to fall. You're going to have bad times, setbacks, times when you don't want to wake up in the morning, or you don't want to get out of bed because you're passing through such a bad time. But the successful people are those who do not get demoralized by defeat. Successful people are those who have the ability to be their own best critics, to analyze where they went wrong. Because every time you have a failure, it is an opportunity to reassess yourself. A crisis is an opportunity. It's always an opportunity to improve yourself. So therefore, defeat can never defeat you, provided you don't give up, and provided you have the ability to analyze where you went wrong. It's a time when you work out where your mistakes are. So in sports, I'll just give you an example. The cricketers who succeeded were always the ones who were their own best critics. Because when you do badly, you must remember there is a lot of advice coming your way. Everyone is, because advice is free, there's no shortage of it. That's why in Tehreek Insaf, whenever someone says, I want to give you a suggestion, I said, how much money will you give to Tehreek Insaf first? But then I'll take a suggestion. So, you should always, have the ability to assess where you went wrong, or you should have the ability to discern between advice when people are giving you advice. Who to take advice from? Because if you don't have that ability, that's when you can easily take the wrong track. And I'll just give you an example that we had. One of the most talented batsmen in my career was Zaheer Abbas. Now, we were touring India, and I was just sharing a room with him. So Zaheer Abbas suddenly started to fail. I knew why he was failing, because the expectations were great. He had destroyed that Indian bowling lineup a few months earlier. So here we were touring India, and there were great expectations. So when he used to go into bat, there were such great expectations that he began to crumble under the weight of expectations. And he made the cardinal mistake. And that's another thing successful people have. You never should be scared of failure. Because anyone who's scared of failure will never know how to win. So, if you start thinking of failure, you start having negative thoughts, your whole strategy changes. If a captain is scared of failure, his team selection will be different to that captain who's only thinking of how to win. If you step on the cricket field and think, I'm going to win, it is a different strategy. If you step on the field and think, I hope I don't lose, it is a different strategy. One is positive, the other is negative. So similarly, when he started, because of the fear of failure, he started making mistakes. And so I remember one day he came to me and said, I watched him standing in front of the mirror and was playing around with his grip and saying, do you think my grip has gone wrong? And I reminded just a few months ago he had broken world record with that same grip. Then about a few days later,